I want to tell everybody the good news is it's Friday. Unless you have payroll, it's Friday, woohoo. So what I'm going to do is, I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence that may have already have a website, already knows about social media. I mean, Tracy's group's back in the back posting videos right away, and that's kind of the point of the power of social media. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to hit websites just real quick. What I kind of want to do is, even standing in the back, I've only been here for a little bit, standing in the back, when you guys were doing the role playing, one of the girls said, we've checked out your website. We know you're one of the most credible people in town. And I think that is the foundation of your site, is how does somebody even know you're real or what you really do if they don't have that ability to find you? You can, even if somebody's your friend and you know that they do something professionally, you're gonna have an uneasy feeling if they don't have something to go for. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna start by talking about why you need a site, and if you already have one, apparently you already have that kind of a concept in your mind, and what it does for you, what should it be doing for you. So these are sort of things I'm going to jump around on because they're going to also coincide with your social media efforts. So I want to sort of just start off by saying these first two are sort of similar. In this day and age, if you don't have a website, it could obviously be detrimental to your company because it's not even 2005 or 2008, it's 2012 almost, and this is pretty much what everybody does. They don't want to necessarily call, they don't have the time, but they're gonna find out information about you, they're gonna look you up online. So really when it comes down to it, that's a big part. Also, it serves as your online brochure, verification. It shows people how to find you on social media. So when you start your efforts, I tell a lot of people nowadays, websites are a great thing. The only problem is most people are going to check, and you'll see in some statistics I have, their Facebook constantly, or some people are Twitterers, and some people are Facebookers, and some people do both. Some people don't do either. So overall, I work with a few people, kind of high-profile clients, that could have mock social media. So one of the things what I mean by that is somebody who made a fake one up for them. So what I try to tell people is, a great big thing about your website is, this is where people can verify that A, you're real, and B, this is all of your actual marketing efforts and all the things that you're trying to do, all the things you're learning from Tracy, this is where you can find those things. So this is the important stuff, all right? Collecting data. Tracy made a point about that right before she sat down. Does your site have some way to collect a phone number, an email address? And when they do that, what is the incentive for someone to give you that information? So that's why Tracy gives away her reports and gives away videos and things like that, because it will allow somebody to say, hey, if you go ahead and you fill out your name and your email address here, I'm going to share some interesting information with you that might really be helpful to either picking us or to just knowing that we know what we're talking about and we are the experts in our field and you do want to do business with us. So what I'm always telling people is, besides that, you have to worry about your call to action. And your call to action is that getting somebody to give you their information or to say, we have this great new video, you should check this out, But why are they going to do that? Because you're telling them right up front, right up as big as it can be, this is where you need to do that. And that'll like I said, a lot of these things, I'm going to go through each one, but they all kind of coincide with each other. So with the call to action is your resource center. Now, out of everything I'm going to tell you guys about today, your resource center is going to be social media and your website. And what your resource center is, and this can be different for everybody. Resource center could be, I'm going to give some examples. I'm a better example giver. My attorney has a free report called the 5 Business Killing Mistakes. And what it is just a big sheet, a PDF you can download that tells you that. So when you go to his website, real big call to action, learn the 5 business killing mistakes. Click here, download the free report. So what that does is, A, it gets somebody, now they have to collect data. So in order to get that free report, which is very useful, you have to just submit your name and your email address. Okay, and a big part of that is making sure you have a privacy policy too, because I think a lot of people are sometimes concerned about giving you their information because they don't want to get a bunch of other emails from other companies. So what happens is you can have that. That's one thing I mean by resource center. Free reports, blog, a tips, things like that. But also, a resource center is also where you can see maybe photos of your community, videos, get to know the people that work there. Things that are going to give people a comfort feeling. Okay, these are real people. Look at their community is really nice. So, resource center is going to be like I said, it's several different things that you can actually put together to make somebody realize that you're either an expert in your field or that you're the choice for them. Then we move on to visually appealing, which again, these are all kind of going to coincide together. Visually appealing would also mean, where is the call to action? Is it something, and that again is going to jump down. I'm sorry, I jump around a lot because there's a lot to save this stuff. But basically, if you go to a website and it's just bland or boring, that's not going to grab you. If you have, especially when you're trying to sell somebody on why they should come there, you want bright colors and smiling faces, things like that. That's a really important deal. And when you're looking at building a site, everybody's going to look at the graphics and say, oh, it looks really nice. But and that's not the most important. It's collecting the data. But if your visual is not that great, people are going to be less excited about going, well, yeah, I want to find out what they have to offer. So that's a really big thing, and that also goes with user friendliness. When you get to the site, if you have 7 drop-down menus and part of your menu's here and part of your menu's up top, and then you have some calls to action at the bottom right, your eyes get pulled all over the place. And in this day and age, especially, people don't have as long of an attention span. Everybody wants to kind of. That's why we really tell people to do a lot of video as opposed to writing blogs, because a lot of people just don't have the time to read anymore because they've got their BlackBerry, their iPhone, and they're tweeting and they're reading stuff and they're watching videos. So we really need to make sure that your website has the ability to be user-friendly and look nice so that you're able to collect data via call to action, and that call to action is sharing some of your resources with them. The next thing is success. Like I told Tracy on the phone, what made me think of writing the word success on there is in her emails, she puts success right at the bottom. And that's what you get from her. That's why you're here. So one of the things that is very important about your website, whether you have one now or you're planning on making one or getting one, is does it align with the goals and the strategies that you're learning with Tracy? That's obviously a big deal because she knows what she's doing. And you can sort of work on thinking outside the box. So if this is some things that she tells you should think about or you should do, then how can we make that come to life on your website? And then finally, it's tracking. Every marketing, everything we do, we assign tracking phone numbers or we assign QR codes, which I could get into on a whole other day. That's something that I think everybody knows. If you don't know, it's the little black squares that are really weird looking and you can scan them with your phone and it'll take you somewhere. So those are becoming another big thing. So tracking numbers, SEO friendly. SEO. Does everybody in here not know what SEO stands for?
Just tell them.
Okay. Sorry. It's search engine optimization, which is getting ranked in Google. Now, that is something everybody in the world would love to have. Everybody would love to be the top one. Type in it, and there you are, first one. So what you got to think about, though, is there's a lot of people that are going to be doing that. So it does take time. It does take effort. But that is something that your website should definitely be compatible for. When I started my business in 2004, we did a lot of Flash because it was, you can make the pictures and animations, and everybody thought it was so great looking. Problem with Flash is, first of all, you can't see it on a smartphone. So if you have any kind of Flash on your website, it's not going to show up on an iPad. It's not going to show up on an iPhone or any kind of thing like that, unless you're Android. It's cool. But overall, it doesn't get picked up by search engines, et cetera. So you really want to try to keep it where, nowadays, more people are using their phones because they're out and about and they can check it. So you need to make sure that it's got that search engine capability. And then web statistics. That's the most basic. If anybody in here has a website and doesn't have their statistics where they can go look at them themselves, or you're working with a company that doesn't provide them, it's a simple flip the switch on. You can go to Google Analytics can do that. Most hosting solutions have statistics. And one of the things I like to tell people about statistics is, let's say you're doing a specific marketing campaign. Well, you can put a different web address on that marketing campaign that still leads back to your website, and then your statistics should show you how many people came from that website. That way you can track, because again, if your resource center that has all your information, all your videos, everything that people are coming to your site to see, if they go there and you look at your statistics and realize, wow, we got 500 hits on that page, but we didn't get any on any other page. So there's some things you need to adjust. You want to make some of the other pages more interesting, but you also want to keep focusing on that page because that page is getting the most response. So now we're moving on to social media, because I know everybody knows what this is. I'm sure at least most of you have a personal Facebook page. And there's, I won't get into too many details on that because really I could tell you about this for the rest of the day. So what I want to do is kind of really give you a little bit more specifics on how to think about what you should be doing. And I've come up with some additional concepts just for the senior housing industry that I want you guys to, I'm just going to say out loud when we're going through this, and you can start to think about that. This is the one thing I found that I think is that I just was blowing me away. So if you look at the top sentence in 2005, now back in, I'd say 3 years ago, Tracy did a conference and it was in Chicago. And I came up there because our company does some filming and things like that. But I was telling her about this Twitter, there's this Twitter thing, and we were sitting there and I was tweeting for her in the corner and it was like, but what does that mean in 2000, I guess 7 or 8 at that point. So in 2005, only 12% of 30 to 49-year-old people, which, again, I'm sorry, I'm pretty well versed in your industry just from working with Tracy, but I don't know, but I'm assuming that adult children fall in between 30 and 49 years old. So in 2010, it rose.
It's okay. Yeah.
A little older, okay. And the good news is, I want to make this clear, is we're all thinking about these adult children being on Facebook because they're older, but what it is they have kids and they know their kids are on there. So a lot more, you're finding a little bit older crowd really getting on Facebook because honestly, it is a way for them to sort of see what their kids are doing, and nobody wants to friend their mom. I mean, my mom's my friend. It gets a little weird sometimes, I mean. But that's what it is. So, but if you see it in May of 2010, it went up to 61% of people that use social media being 30 to 49 years old. Okay, now I'm 34. My mom, she's getting there. I just had to push her around Universal the other day, all day in a wheelchair. I may be coming to one of you guys soon. So, anyway, so if you look down here too, you see. 71% of businesses are using Facebook, 71%. Yes, I mean, some of the stuff that Tracy even updated me on, you said that about 80% of people are looking for things online now, looking for services. So the real important thing, and I'm going to probably go back to this as we go to the next slide, but the real important thing to think about is that if people are searching online, they're going to come to your website. They need a reason. I need a reason to come to your website today. I need a reason because, okay, I'm looking for somebody. I'm looking for a community. I'm going to go online. I'm going to search. But I'm going to go on Facebook. I went on Facebook 3 times while I was standing in the back on my phone. So, and there's a statistic that we're going to get to that shows you how many people and how much % of those people use Facebook more than 3 times a day. Okay, so 71% use Facebook. 59% use Twitter. Now, Twitter is something that it's really more for a resource for you, I think. Like, I don't honestly see your industry being exploding on Twitter, Facebook for sure. But we definitely, you don't want to leave it just out there like, we don't need this. There's a real easy way to set that stuff together so that you really only need to do one thing. But then I was really surprised about this. 33% of businesses on YouTube. 33%, like I would think that would be a much higher number just because the amount of people that use video is way higher than because people think about YouTube, oh, I can watch this, I can put this up there. But I guess why that's happening is because you can just put the video in Facebook. You can also use Vimeo, which is way better than YouTube. But I think a lot of people are starting to stray away from YouTube from the standpoint of, well, why put it there when I can just put it here? But you want to think about this. And this is going to go into, and I can give anybody these statistics. There's a bunch more, and where I got this from is really neat. So the one thing I want to tell you is we're talking about SEO, we're talking about resource centers. So another big part of SEO is going to be social media, because when you put a video into YouTube, you're going to put a bunch of tags, you're going to put a bunch of Oh, it's much better. You're going to put a bunch of descriptions, and now millions and millions of people go to those websites every day, and this is what people don't understand. When you put a video there, all these people are going to that site, which is also now owned and ran by Google, which has got Google Plus now. I don't even start on that one. You guys are going to get frightened by it. Google Plus is Facebook for Google. And it already has 30 million people in it, and wow. They're smart because they run searches. Does anybody use Google to search? Yeah, right. So they're not going anywhere. They got a little money. They're good. So they're going to be around for a while. They got a little money. It's cool. So I want to tell you. So the number of users. So there's 1 billion people all over the world that use social media. 1 billion. Now, the great part about social media is you can reach 1 billion, obviously not really 1 billion people, but you can reach 1 billion people right here from your phone, right here from your computer. And that's the part of social media. Did anybody, when they were really working or in other industries they've been, gone to a networking meeting and just network with people? Yeah, right? You go to a networking meeting, and it's the same, this is like the world's networking meeting. You go to somebody and you have to find creative ways to make yourself introduce that person, and without being intrusive, because nobody wants to be, I don't want someone to come into my studio and sell me Aflac. I just don't. I mean, when I was watching this, there was a few people who were getting a little, the girl was frustrated because you were, I don't have time to talk to you today. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I know how that feels. So the good thing about this is you kind of go to them without stepping into their spot. So a big piece is, like I said, too, is the visitor searches, which is also like the SEO. You're putting your information into a social media platform. That's going to get your particular video or your particular item may not get searched, but that website's getting searched. And as that website's getting searched, all the things involved in that website are going up places. So what's going to happen is you're going to put a video in, you're going to put a bunch of information about that video, and then it's going to be searched. Not the video, the website. It's going to be searched by a lot of people, which now it sees these words you put in there and starts to build in there. So again, now this is the big thing that I think is the most important thing that you guys need to do or think about when you're doing is your resource center again. So my point before about people coming to your website and people going to social media and jumping on social media every day is this. If I met you right now and said, what's your website? You tell me your website, I go to it, right? So why do I have any reason to go to your website again after that? Maybe your resource center is great, whatever. But I said I'm going to go to Facebook probably when we're done talking, like, wow, lady talked forever. Let me check out my Facebook. So, so once that happens, now you're going to your Facebook, which you're going to do every day. So if you post the same resources that you're posting on your website, if you're posting those on social media, and again, this gets into a really in-depth, so I'm trying to keep it sort of general so you understand. But what happens is, if you're not familiar, you have a home feed, and your home feed is whoever your friends are, whatever they post. Sammy just got, her new socks or whatever. It's all going to come into your home feed. So if you are able to reach out to people, they like your page, then every time you post something, it's going to show up in their feed. So today when I go down Facebook 4 times, I'm going to see what you posted, but I'm not going to have a specific reason to go back to your website today. So the point of this is when you're thinking about your resource center, it's just like branding, right? When we do branding, we keep our logo on our shirt, and we keep our cards, and everything's branded the same. And that's how your resource center should be. You should have whatever you're posting on your website, you should mirror that over to your social media efforts. Because when someone comes to your website for the first time, they're going to see all that information that you've posted. But now somebody you've captured, and now they like you on Facebook, now that information is going to pop up in their home feed every time you post something. So in a way, you have to have your website because that's verification, that's the roadmap, that's everything that you need to prove to somebody. Plus, it's a lot easier to say, come to happypines.com as opposed to facebook.com/happypines_ this long data, .com. So that's a really big thing there. Your resource center, that's where people, everyone tells you got to be the expert in your field. It's what you got to do. So, okay, so that's what to me, there's where you should really focus, making sure you're letting people know. Now, I'm going to jump down because I want to come back to communication at the end so you guys can know that this is not all just about how you can sell people via social media. So I'm gonna jump down. Apps and ads, all right? Apps are things on Facebook that you can stick onto your page that could give someone an incentive to leave their email address, or could give someone an incentive to click like. And that's something, there's so many of them, and that's a little bit more of a focused thing that we would have to discuss. And Tracy and I are working on some things like that for you guys, where you can find an app that would say, offer somebody I would really, I just don't want to make something up. So you guys would understand. You can install this into your Facebook page. It's an application that can call action to capture data. The next thing is Facebook ads. 500 million people. You can literally target everything. I mean, you can target people's likes. You can target age groups. You can target. People do not have a clue the amount of targeting on a Facebook advertisement. And they pop up no matter what. So it's not like you do a Facebook ad and, oh God, you're on somebody's page and I can't believe this, you're bothering me. It's gonna happen no matter what. The thing that's great about Facebook is, let's say you type in somebody that's assisted living or community, any keywords that you would want to put in there. And let's say I just post something today with one of those words in it. Now it starts putting your ad on my page. It's amazing. So that's a whole nother, again, another story. I'm just trying to keep this broad, and I'm also running out of time. Tracking, again, same thing. Facebook, crazy tracking, and it's free. That's a great thing about it. You go on, you can look at your page, you can even print out a portion of it, but you can really put a ton of information right from there that you might want to use just for your own marketing. You want to use to explain to people about how many people are checking out your page. There's a lot of great tracking, and I'm sorry I'm going really fast because I'm kind of running out of time. So well, the last thing I want to say is on social media is the communication. Okay, I know, and the point is, and the reason why I'm talking to you guys about social media is how you can find, possibly some new residents for your communities this way. But there's also a couple other ideas that you could use this for. One of them being employment. There's a great way to find a new person, or to let people know you're looking for some new people. Or if you're looking for some new people, finding out a little bit more information about those people. So that's another way you can use Facebook. That's not just for a sales tool, because I know we're all in some sort of sales, but sometimes don't love being a salesman. So that you can use that for other things like that. Second, the last thing is, what if you were able to get some of the residents to get onto your page, and it helped them connect with their adult children or their grandchildren. They could see, I had my grandmother had a stroke when I was 12 and was in a nursing home, and I know it's a little different, but was in a nursing home for 12 years. But this was way before any of this stuff. So it was like, if we don't go see grandma, that's it. She's there, she's alone, we don't know how she's doing. One of the things, and I worked on this just so you guys could even think about something, how you can maybe implement this down the road, of creating, this Friday we are doing this with our residents, and boom, then you do that, and then maybe you utilize it to show photos and share photos. Now, obviously, there are some stipulations with liability, and that's all something that you'd have to find out, making sure somebody is okay that you're posting their picture. But utilizing this as a tool to tell a potential resident and their adult children to say, we have this thing that we do where we use Facebook. Are you on Facebook? Oh, okay, well, great. Well, we have something that we do where we try to help you stay connected to the people, to your loved ones that are here. So that's and there's 100 other thoughts that you could kind of make out of something like that. But I just wanted to make sure I didn't come up and just say, sell, sell, sell with this, because I know that's what we all ultimately need to do. And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's a lot of other things you can utilize this for. So I think I'm pretty much out of time, and I definitely hope that this enlightened you a little bit, and if we can obviously help you.